Hey everybody, Professor Stines here. And today I kind of been playing around a lot with website maps, XML, and a lot of different languages. Kind of made a video about .NET and kind of made a video about JavaScript. And so this is kind of going to be my video about PHP, working with the same XML file. Essentially, we kind of got one root element website and another home element that contains all of the pages in my website. And then they're kind of organized as well. So, like pages about and kind of separated out by chapters too. HTML folder, chapter 1, chapter 2. It's a pretty deep XML file. So, the plan is to basically add it into this region of the page. I've kind of already worked it out once, so hopefully we can work it out again and go pretty well. I'm going to start by kind of copying my index.htm and renaming it to index.php. Basically be the same thing, except now we can use some server-side code in it. I'm kind of running off my local host today, or you could use XAMPP as well. Let's see. Let's open up our index.php and take a look at it, and just remove this lorem ipsum text. And let's put just an echo statement in to see if everything is working okay. So, looks good. Good to go. Let's break this out onto a couple lines here and get started. So the first thing I want to do is I want to kind of use what's called the DOM document. Scroll up to the top. It's in the PHP, the DOM document class in the manual. I was kind of looking at an example down here when I last left. And essentially what we're going to do is we're going to kind of load a document in. We're going to be kind of using a load file though to bring it in from a file. A lot of the examples here are kind of showing how to do it in memory, but we're going to be loading it from a file. So to do that, let's start with a variable. Variables start with a $sign. And let's define a new DOM document class object. DOM document. And we're going to want to load this guy up with our web XML file. Good statement in PHP to kind of check on stuff is print_r. So we can kind of throw this XML variable at that, maybe see what happens. Not on the PHP page though, on our page. So it looks like indeed we did return a file. And it's got some attributes associated to it, its own kind of object definition, its own model. So that's good. Let's comment that line out and push it down a little bit. So what we want to do is we want to kind of pass into this queries into this file and kind of retrieve some stuff out of that. And to do that, we're going to use a class called DOM XPath. XPath, lowercase p. I don't know if it matters. And we're going to pass our XML file at it. You can also find this one out on the website DOM XPath class. Get a sip of water. And kind of show how these queries are made. And a lot of the examples out here are kind of complex, so I'm going to kind of walk through a little bit on how to do it, on how we can do it. Not necessarily the way, and there's lots of ways. So let's see. Let's start by trying to find the home page. So that would be set a variable for that, #home. And we're going to use our XPath variable and pass a query to it. And we're going to be looking for website/home. And let's do our print_r statement on that variable, $home, and see what we get. So we just got one object, which makes sense because if we're looking at our XML file up at the top, we only have one home page that exists in the site. We kind of started at the website looking at home. So it makes sense that we only have one object there, node list. And you can kind of see that object that's there, kind of look it up. Basically what this guy is, it's kind of an array. A list, rather. Probably not an array. The difference between the two, but it's kind of a list, node list class. So in order to kind of read from that, we're going to have to kind of do a loop through. And to do that, that would be a for each statement, and kind of loop through everything that's in the list. And we'll begin looking at home. For each item in home, I'm thinking it's a list, and we're just going to call that I, node I. For each one that's there, let's try to print our I first. Let's see what we get. So this time we got a DOM element object, and we can kind of see some of the different attributes that are associated to it as well. What kind of node type it is. It's a 1. The node name is home. So we're sure we got our home tag this time. So let's take a look inside of that object and see if we can't find the title tag. So that would be kind of the method operator there. Looking for get attribute for title. Let's see what we get. Web development tutorials, that's pretty good. So kind of reading from the XML, pulling out the title here. Cool, huh? Alright, so kind of like the other videos, what we're going to do is kind of just build this guy up a little bit, kind of try to make a menu structure out of it. So I'm going to kind of make a variable string and just kind of hold it there like that. Let's see. I tell you what, why don't we mess with query a little bit? So this is kind of a query. We're starting at the website looking for home. But what happens if we go to page and try to pull all the page elements out? And let's throw a break tag after this guy. Let's just put a break tag there. Hopefully it won't cause too many problems. Where's the 1 coming from? Type of 1 on there by mistake. Probably because I got 2 things going on here. Let's just echo out. It's a BR tag on the end of it. That's better. I don't know where those 1s were coming in from. Interesting. So that's all the pages. So what happens if maybe I kind of take out this guy, and then we just do a search for maybe /page and see if we get anything. We did not. And then dot page should get something. Let's see, should get something there too. Home slash page. Should get the books. Another slash page. Should get all the chapters, pages inside of first level nodes. Slash page again would get kind of all of them, just the pages themselves. And there's a period operator that I can use here too. If I wanted to kind of get, pretty sure, let's look at XPath. It's kind of one of the things I was looking at in XPath, was trying to figure out, it's been a while since I used it, so I'm trying to decode how some of these lookups work. I guess I don't really have to get too complicated for what I want to do though. So I guess we'll just skip that. Let's get the video done. That's it. I didn't get anything. Well, anyway, let's go back to where we were. So that's slash website slash home. That should get us our home page. If we want to get all the pages underneath it, it's a slash star on the end, get all the nodes underneath. So that one will actually get our books too, in addition to the slash pages. And we want to echo all those guys out. Let's define a function down here and call it getLink. And we're going to be passing in a node. Basically returning kind of what's in that statement there. So that'd be kind of a string. Let's say it's going to be a list item. We could do a hyperlink inside of it, pound tag. We just have to pull the URL off. We're going to combine that with a node's lookup to get attribute of title. And combine that with closing a tag. So let's check our link out. Get link with I. It should be about the same. Got some list items here. I guess I should be kind of using the string instead. So let's do a $ and combine it together. Make it part of the string, and we'll just kind of echo out down here at the bottom the string. So that's opening UL tag dot $string and dot closing UL tag. And it should make our list a little bit better. Could you try to use that bootstrap class that's there, that W3 class that's there, W3UL. Kind of be the same look that's over there. Let's see. So we've kind of got one list of links, which is good. But we need to go a level deeper, just like in the other videos. We're trying to go kind of a level deeper. So to do that, we kind of have to change our query up a little bit. So this is going to be kind of our new query. I'm just going to kind of throw it in the for each loop. And we're going to be looking for the XPath query statement. And we're going to be throwing a /page. But throwing a second variable at this query. The second variable is going to be the context in which I want to find it. And since we're inside of I, that's going to be the context I want to find it in. So for each of those, that should work. We're going to kind of want to keep adding to the string. So that's $dot equals get link. Da, 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 da. Alright, this is one statement, and we need to add an as j. Yeah, I think that's better. We'll find out in a second. And that is going to be equal to get link of j. Missing stuff. Wasn't sure it was going to work. Might not. Let's see. It looks pretty good. Kind of got it in the different chapters and the different sub-pages underneath each one. So that's looking okay. I kind of need to be adding a... might actually have made it better to make a query for chapters. Kind of storing the query here instead of kind of calling it this way. Kind of cut that guy out, set it there. For each chap sj. The reason is because I want to be checking the length of I want to be checking length, basically. And that's kind of, I think, where I got a little bit stuck. In the previous times I tried to record this video, is trying to find XPath query length in PHP. So many of the names travel between languages. It's sometimes hard to find the right manual with the right answer. So remember, this is kind of where I was down trying to find possibly a good example of how to do length. I guess that's just dash length, so let's give it a shot. The reason is that we kind of want to make sure that indeed we are something before we do something. So if chap length, and we're kind of hoping that this is going to work and not throw an error, then that's when we want to do the loop, because that's kind of the only time I want to be adding to the string variable and adding the opening and closing UL tag. For the inner list, kind of before and after the for loop when we build all the LIs, str.equals closing UL. I'm missing a pointer symbol there. Let's give it a shot. Let's hope it works. It does look like it worked. I'm kind of actually surprised. It never seems to work right the first time. Let's see. So got our inner list going. That's pretty neat. If we wanted to keep kind of adding on to the list like we did in the previous videos, other videos, and kind of build out the three menu structure like we did with JavaScript on the left, keep adding on, basically go the next level down and get the pages. It'd be pretty similar at this point. So we'd want to probably define, we're kind of up to about here with chapter. So we probably want to do a page. I could just call it my page, my p. Don't want to step on any of the system variables. So $myp is going to be equal to the XPath query again. That's XPath-query. Still kind of looking for that ./page, but the context changes this time. Instead of $i, it's $j. And so that's hopefully that will come back and give us a good length. So we'll do a check for that. If myp length, then we still want to keep adding to the str variable. Kind of add the new inner list. And close that list up. and then do a for each to pull out each of those things. In my P, IP as K. Hands are getting tired. And then add to the string and put the get link with K in it. So let's take it for a ride and see what we do. So this time we went all the way down. Got us another submenu, another submenu. Let's see. Let's go ahead and throw these W3 classes on there and see if they make any difference in how it looks. And it's kind of nice. I think I probably should have come back in and added this to the JavaScript as well. So that's kind of how it's done in in PHP. Similar to JavaScript, as you can kind of see that there's a little bit of a nested nature, kind of a recursive nature that's occurring here. This would probably be better off being solved recursively. And benefits to that would be is that the XML sitemap could be as deep as it needs to go, or a little more complicated maybe. And we could build out the list a little bit easier. So right now we're kind of limited to just the 3 list items. But if we wanted to have like 20 nested lists, or the capability of 20 nested lists, it would be kind of difficult to keep it up in this fashion. However, we rewrote it in recursive nature, and it'd probably be better. So my challenge to you is to go out and do that. As for kind of comparing XML and PHP, the processes between the two are pretty much the same. Kind of look at maybe we can compare them a little bit at the same time. Differences in languages. I'm trying to keep PHP as little as I could make it. So it's basically kind of the same thing. The difference is JavaScript is a client-side language. It's all done by the browser and the browser's end. So PHP, on the other hand, as a server language, it's actually there. And kind of right-click and we can inspect them and kind of see the nature of both of them through the inspector. Make sure that they are kind of what they're supposed to be, if they're nested correctly. The difference is if I actually look at the source code, PHP actually hard-coded and generated this giant list of links here. So kind of throw them all together, and this is kind of one of the reasons why if you kind of try to view source on someone else's web page, sometimes it can be really hard to read. So sometimes so much of this can be auto-generated behind the scenes, you just don't know. This is just in the main section, so like I said, JavaScript won't actually become part of the source code. It could be disabled by the client in some instances. So sometimes it's better to write things out in PHP. At least you know they're actually there and that they are working. So anyway, hope you found it kind of interesting, and feel free to experiment. If you have any questions, feel free to post them in the class discussions, and hopefully I'll try to make this XML file available so other people can kind of tinker with it. It'd be really neat to see someone figure out how to solve the recursive nature. I could probably do it, but I don't really want to do it. But I think someone out there could do something really neat with it, and kind of prove how recursive nature works. It's a really interesting topic sometimes. The recursive nature of the world and Google even. It's it's one of those jokes that you just don't get if you're not a programmer. When you do a Google search for recursion, you get Google comes up and tries to give you a suggestion for recursion that you misspelled it. Did you mean recursion? It's kind of a recursive Google joke. Haha, funny. To that extent, PHP actually is also, if you look at the manual, hopefully this is the most recent one, the about, introduction, getting started, I'm kind of looking for the history, the about it. This might be it. PHP at the core, a hacker's guide. I don't think this is what we want. We definitely don't want internals. I think it's in the preface. It's preface up here, right? Yeah. Yeah, PHP, which stands for PHP Hypertext Preprocessor, is actually a joke in itself, that PHP is a recursive algorithm to PHP HP. Ha ha ha. P. Get it? PHP. PHP. That's great. Anyway, used to stand for personal homepage. Now it stands for PHP Hypertext Preprocessor. So, like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Have a good one. Bye.